I'm the highest in the room. Hope I make it out.
Welcome everybody to Southern California and the 10th anniversary season of the United Soccer League Championship. Championship Soccer Stadium, the site in Irvine, California. Two playoff teams from a season ago. Orange County celebrating their 10th anniversary, while El Paso begins year number 2. With Devin Kermike Watts on hand. Devin, what Orange County has done over the last 2 years has overturned what was a beginning 7 years of disappointment. Braden Cloutier has done a wonderful job.
Because of all of their recent success, they're quick to forget Logan Paws and the 11-11-10 record they had in 2017. This man right here, Braden Cloutier, steps in. What do? They win the West in the regular season in 2018. They get to the Western Conference Final. Doesn't go their way. They run it back again. Again, double-digit wins. This team has racked up serious things, both at home and on the road. Road was lacking a little bit, but they're home, especially tonight, it's applicable. They're 26-8 in the past 2 seasons. Nothing short of spectacular in the turnaround. And the players that he's brought in to supplement the offensive and defensive side of the ball are going to make them that much better. More well-rounded is what you're going to see. Maybe not necessarily stretching on one end or sitting back on the other. This team is one cognizant unit. I like Kasipli in the middle. I think he's going to be understated, but keep an eye on him. And Nathan Smith is going to balance out this back line next to Kevin Alston. This team is dangerous.
Meanwhile, Devin, El Paso in their expansion season go all the way to the conference final. I said to Mark Lauer, you guys were minutes away. Corrected me, no, seconds.
Seconds for sure, but this is the biggest talking point for them. They got better as the season went on. A lot of teams took off, and then their stock dropped. That wasn't the case for El Paso Locomotive. Yes, a heartbreaker, but keep your head held high. You lost to the eventual champions. Yes, you lost, but again, another team that has put some extra additions in there that can help them take that next step. Where do they need to do the most? Well, the offensive side of the ball is probably where they were lacking. Jerome Kiesewetter takes off. He goes to Inter Miami. You've got guys like Sebastian Velasquez. They had 9s, they had 10s. They didn't really have the blend. He's put that all together now. Dylan Maris, he's in the middle. He's nice. Marios Lomas from North Carolina FC. Distel Zola, that's your holding midfielder that can help control the entire tempo. Saeed Robinson coming over from Switchbacks FC, an understated offensive threat that they can now take more further advantage of.
Both coaches told me this is how you want to start the season. Last year, number 5, number 6 in the West. Welcome to the 10th anniversary season. It's 2020, set to kick off. We've got lineups and opening kickoff next.
Inside.
Goal! Orange County!
And a goal!
A temperate 61-degree March night. Couldn't ask for any better in Southern California. It's the opening walkout of a long 34-game grueling campaign I wouldn't be any happier than to do it with Devin Kerr. Mike Watts alongside. Let's take a look at tonight's first starting 11 of the year. It's presented by Kimco Staffing.
This is going to be poetry in motion, but a work in progress as well. Kasipli probably won't play that high, but the way things work out, they have the ability to shake things up a little bit. Edie Voltson can wander. Sean Oakley, he can have a little fun up top. Remember, that's the 2016 USL Championship MVP coming out of FC Cincinnati. But let's take a further look at your post-sport player to watch, and I want to look at Cameron Palmer in the middle of the pitch. He's one of the players on loan from Glasgow Rangers in Scotland. Braden Cloutier says that you cannot turn your head, not for 1 second. He's all over the pitch, likes to control the tempo. He's got an interesting background, and we'll get there, but at only 18 years of age, he's going to have a little fun.
Kimco starting a lineup for El Paso Locomotive. Handful of changes because of all the changes on their roster from what they often did last year.
Is it going to be a diamond? Is it going to be the 4-2-3-1? Mark Lowry, one of the better guys that can do this at this level. So again, this is going to be a work in motion as well. I'm quite curious to see as to whether or not they drop two in the middle, get the outside backs high. They'll be a bit tempered in actions with Andrew Fox at left back. Rebillon will get high on that right side though.
El Paso began with a 3-1 loss against Oklahoma City last year. For Orange County, 3 wins, 4 losses, 2 draws in openers. Both referred to a dour and sour taste in their mouth from 2019. Welcome to the 2020 USL Championship season, our 10th anniversary. It's El Paso Locomotive away to Orange County to start. That's a highly anticipated campaign. Devin Kerr, Mike Watts on hand. El Paso in white, moving left to right. Kicks away from Bizzetti. There's Kasipli. Back by Intoko, and Toko and Jerome together make one of the better center back pairings in the league. Can Michak Jerome stay healthy this year, given all that went wrong a year ago at Gold Cup?
I just looked at you about 15 minutes before kick and I said, he's about 9 months removed from his Achilles in June of last year. That's a quick comeback, and a guy who's got a massive amount of talent. And that was one of the things this team dealt with, was injuries all season.
Spiked forward a second time. El Paso can't break through. Ross. Fox. Bizzetti. Ross and Fox getting higher and higher up. Nathan Smith is their newcomer from Timbers 2. Twinkle-toed run all the way to the end line. This is what Mark Lowry told us about in the lead up to this game. We led the Western Conference in passing. They didn't score enough. They want the finishing touch. They want more of their passing to be in the final third.
I'll be blunt with this one. I don't care about the possession. And the reason is when 80% of it is within your own 50, 60-yard span coming off of your goal, you don't mind. There's plenty of team who's going to sit back and just let you have that. Now, when you're trying to play out, get beyond and bypass a team's press, that's a different story. I think that's where they're one of the better teams in all the USL Championship. But he's spot on. Once you cross midfield, you start to push into the final third. They just needed to be better. It was 2 isolated situations, 2 3-man systems, and that's how he feels they're built a bit different. We talked about how this was a more rounded team for Orange County SC. You could make the same argument on the other side of the ball for El Paso Locomotive.
This is hammered from distance. Nothing doing there. There's Mark Lowry, year number 2, at the tender age of 34. How he wants to play and is willing in his own mind to be flexible in the shape in which they do what they want to. Direct play from Orange County. Kevin Alston. Kiernan. Chrysostomol. Coley trying to break this down, and this is exactly what you were talking about, Devin.
Just look at the high line, and they're trying to play out as well. Beautiful touch. That's why they bring Lomas in, hold up play, and then they can still go with pace.
Lomas starting play, but this is a bit behind. Pizzetti has worked onto the right. Let's take a look at the injury report. It's brought to you by HOI. There are a couple of players missing for Orange County at the outset. Losky and Coleman are out, dueling hamstring injuries. You're a bit surprised to see Darwin Jones not available at the outset.
Available and not brought up in our conversation with Gutierre, and a guy who's a massive impact on the team for sure. Broke out last year and helped push this to another level. In the absence of Ini Voltsen, as he was being a journeyman between Sacramento Republic and Indy 11, Jones really stepped up. Of course, Michael Seaton now gone. He's over in Germany, 3rd Division. And how do you fill that void when Ini Voltsen's just kind of sitting there on the doorstep and you have the opportunity to sign him? It'd be crazy not to. Number one priority come the offseason.
Simply dipped in a second time. Orozco. And last year, such an injury boondoggle for Orange County from start to finish. Felt like the famed movie Vegas Vacation, sticking gum in the dam. That's where Braden Cloutier was at in July. Rubio on to throw. Second year in El Paso. Sporting Kansas City 2, as they'll be called this year, the former Swope Park Rangers. One of a handful of brand changes over the offseason.
Nope.
Union 2, FC Tulsa.
Nope. I'm not saying it. Tulsa, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Sporting Kansas City 2. Or Philadelphia Union 2. I worked that into the contract this year.
Nope, not mine. It's Kiernan. Coley and Ini Voltsen give chase with Ketterer well off his line. Rebellon taken down, and Ini Voltsen showing his displeasure. Fox knocks it wide. Bypassing Zola, good incisive pass. Wide again, clipped over the top. Won't quite reach Pizzetti, nor Zola. Zola there to clean it up, maybe a chance for a second cross. Rebellon with a lot of English. Rebellon on the move. Kasipli out of harm's way. 4 white jerseys converge. Trouble brewing here for the young goalkeeper, Aaron Cervantes, who gets the call over Friedrich Due in the opener. Likely a surprise to many. Kiernan again, who's on loan from Southend United in the English Football League One. Okoli nearly started 2020 off with a real firework. Back to the league after being named 2016 USL MVP.
Braden Cloutier was quite specific about how he wanted to be direct when they wanted to, and this is exactly what he's talking about. That long ball over the top, and Ini Voltsen can check back in, and the shape that they're employing allows them to do so. What you're seeing right now, Aiden Quinn drops in the low block, and they're basically playing a 4-1-3-2. You're not going to call it a diamond because Kasipli, Chrysostamo, and Palmer are actually splitting themselves out flat. But when the outside backs get high, you're putting 4, 5, 6 into the middle, and you still have numbers up top with Ini Voltson and Ugo, and you can go direct in that manner. Even if you're compressed into a 40-yard span, of course, in that situation, things are a little bit further out, and you can play up over the top. But that's what he talked about, where we're not great up top, we're not great in the back, we're good all over, and we're going to make teams feel it.
Coalition in mid-season form. In the wide area again. Solstamo making that run into the penalty area. Palmer gets cleaned out. Coley on the turn. Aiden Quinn. Most dynamic goal scoring and assist getting players this league has seen over the last half decade.
Already you're starting to see the shape change from El Paso Locomotive as well. It did start in the diamond, but the way it's kind of working out right now, everybody's just starting to drift a little bit. Dylan Mayers, your number 7. Just on the ball, tracking back the playmaker. They're trying to find a bit more regularly. And Zola's kind of pivoting, allowing Bassetti to still play up top, but also push the limit outside on the right wing.
Roll skull on the defense. And there's the challenge by Richie Ryan. Free kick, Orange County. Delicate ball to Alston. He races forward. A little trouble there, but Ketterer's on it. Paso in control. Jerome. Zola, the Frenchman. Ini Voltson's been pushed onto the left. It's interesting how Orange County is going to have to try and make life difficult for El Paso if they are willing to hold the ball that deep and pass it as they so often do.
It's a fun tactical battle so far. They're basically lining up in mirror images right now.
Yep.
Everybody's kind of shifting around, and that's why you're seeing a bit of tentativeness where they're not necessarily willing to take the chances. Aiden Quinn dropping back in. Cameron Palmer, you can see the youthful exuberance, more than willing to get stuck in, but the decision-making hasn't exactly been crisp. And still, with outlet passes like that, what's the idea? Because even if Bassetti brings it down, it's 4v1 in the Orange County zone, and he's on the back side of that. That's where they need to be better when they start to push into the final third. Be calculated in your efforts. Don't just stretch the game because that pass is on. What's the next step after it?
And notably, they're without Omar Salgado, who picked up a red card in the final game of the season against Real Monarchs in the conference final. He is their guy who presses the back line.
They just will slow it down a little bit more without him. That high tempo, of course, not available to them this evening. Plenty of guys with pace, just not at the same level. And Harry Forrester, same guy, not available as well. He got a red card in their unfortunate ending to their season. against also Real Monarchs.
Yep.
The way that game turned out. 6-2, right? Final?
Yeah.
Go figure.
Was it Orozco who scored an all-time playoff goal?
Was that game?
Yeah.
Was that the playoff game? Yeah. Well, people forget that was 2-1 with 30 minutes to play.
Correct.
So it's amazing what a red card and running around with only 10 men can do for you.
Real Monarchs ended up going to Louisville and knocking off the twice reigning USL Championship final winner, Louisville City. That's a lazy pass. A little bit of help there from Kiernan. Gives a hackneyed look backward. Maybe there's room for Orange County off that. Enevoldsen in his return to Orange County. This bouncing, a little bit of trouble. Chrysostomo over to Okoli. That's going to be a ball for the kids to play with.
Frustration for Hugo as well. Thought the first one was starting to calculate a little bit on that near post, and this one just sits up quite nicely for him. But watch his body posture at the end of it. Leans back. He knows that's one on the training ground you put in the upper corner and start yelling at all the boys. Don't have the same luxury here.
Quarter of an hour gone in what is a loaded weekend to open the 2020 USL Championship season. Reno and Tacoma kicked off simultaneously on the West Coast, the two opening games of the campaign. Dangerous challenge from Kiernan. Not making any friends in his foray into America.
Two-year foreigners, Rob Kiernan and Alexi Bassetti, doing battle, and this is a rough challenge on that back left side. It's the one with all the veteran leadership that has 100% kind of been thrust into the limelight, but he's the easy answer. Look at teams like Watford, Wigan, of course Glasgow Rangers just a few short years ago. It's an easy switch over, and Ian Orozco, that could be possibly the two best center back pairings in the entire league. Of course, we're only 16 minutes in, so I'll let you know. I'll let you know at least at the end of the game.
Correct. Zola, there is a ton of space out here, and he's identified it. That is a vicious challenge, perfectly done by Palmer. That's Smith there. Nice leading ball further to Kasipli. Flick onward, laid back by Rebellon. Orange County Soccer Club would like to thank the official healthcare provider, jersey naming rights sponsor, Hoag Hospital. What have you made of Palmer so far?
Quiet. Again, everybody's still settling. Nerves are high. Stadium's packed. Remember, the chemistry that you're trying to incorporate from the training ground into this game, it's still a work in progress. I mean, everybody's still trying to find that, and pretty much any manager you talk to will say anywhere from 7 to 10 games. That's kind of where we're going to figure out exactly what we've put together and where can we be at our best. So the level right now isn't exactly where you want it to be, and you're kind of seeing that out of Cameron Palmer. Again, 19 years of age, youngster he's had some loan stints, Partick Thistle, done some stuff in UEFA youth ranks, but this is another animal in another country, different speed, and you have to adjust. Training is one thing, but game situations are a whole nother.
Mares fighting through. Worked up the left-hand side yet again, trying to put pressure on Smith. There's Orozco. Coley holding up play. Head on a swivel. Enevoldsen doesn't have the runners. Now he does. Okoli 2016 league MVP in Cincinnati. Pirouettes, lays it through. Contact from behind from Intolko. Homer knocks it wide and lifted over the top. That's flicked on Chrysostomo. On to Eni Voldsen. On the cutback, that's bobbled and picked up by Ketterer off of Richie Ryan. Paso wiggles away from the pressure again. Played diagonally through the first line. Said he would like to see the ball again. Rebellon plays it through now. This is excellent. Rounding the keeper. First goal of the year for El Paso's offside. It won't count. Cervantes spared his blushes for this.
And the problem was on the second run. The first run is where you're initially going to see it, but the back post run for sure is off. That's well done by the linesman. The first one's a bit closer, but when you start to tuck yourself back in, it was already behind the back shoulder run. That's better from El Paso Locomotive. The problem is, again, it's got to be quicker. You start to step in there, the ball's got to be half a second sooner, the run timed differently. That's some of the frustration from last year boiling over into this match as well.
Moving ball, Orozco. Eventual foul from Nathan Smith, the 25-year-old native of California, played at UCLA. Out of the Galaxy Academy. That's where he and Braden Cloutier first crossed paths.
I like him. That's a quality pickup for them. And we talked a little bit about it in the lineups that now you have the freedom to put either he or Alston on the right or left, respectively.
Another good-looking dynamic ball. And this curled, and there's Cervantes to make the stop. Buried aside. Lomas coming up big again on the offensive end for El Paso.
You can remember him last year for North Carolina FC. Ball's out in front of him running, and of course, going the vertical route. But watch him as he just kind of lays in waiting, drops to the top of the 18, and this is where, as a midfielder, you have to be smarter. You have a marksman that's come out there. You can't even give him a yard, and he's got well more than that in this situation. Quick little step back. Chrysostomo, Cameron Palmer have to be quicker on the pass-off, not allow the shot.
Alston nods it away. Corner, El Paso. The last 5 minutes have been much more dynamic from El Paso in the final third.
The other thing you got to remember is forget the fact that it's the first game of the year. Forget the fact that these guys haven't been on a competitive pitch together. You're on the road. It's not easy to win in this league on the road. And as great as Orange County's been at home, they kind of showed you that last year. Split games in 2018 and 2019, only able to put down 5 when they stepped away from home.
Corner, El Paso. Flying the opposite end, and Intolko. Orange County last year, 9-3-4 at home. They lost 7 times on the road. Cervantes dives to the side. Guards his post well. That's Jerome.
Easy, big fella. It's a little early for that.
Jerome won a USL championship final back in 2011. An MLS Cup a few years later. This is promising through Alston, who's got acres of space. Alston chipping across. Chrysostomo allows it to Fester. This will be a corner off the deflection. Another effort play from Daniel Chrysostomo, the 23-year-old out of UC Irvine. I was a little surprised, Devin, that he got the start tonight. And I can see why now. He's putting in the miles.
The wild card in that conversation is definitely going to be Darwin Jones and what could or could not have been. I'm sure we'll find out in the press release later on.
Aiden Quinn goes short. Palmer lost it. Chrysostomo is there. Fox. Smith may have taken a high cleat. All's well, says the referee. Given Alston room to roam a bit. Palmer calling for it. 19-year-old native of York in England.
This is the side that I'm looking to exploit right now. This left side for Orange County SC, they're struggling a little bit in terms of the relationship with Distel Zola and Alexi Bassetti. You'll notice if you watch when they start to track back and chase in transition, Bassetti's got to be quicker coming out onto this wing. Rebillon drops back in, and there's basically 20, 30 yards to run with. The difference is they haven't really got it in the hands, if you will, of their playmakers. That's where Eni Voltson's got to recognize the space, bring him out here, and let him attack the back line.
Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select, the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, visit selectsportamerica.com. Now we're back.
I think you got a little bit of taste of what I'm always talking about with the Select soccer balls at the 2019 USL Championship final. Maybe not your best penalties, but you did well enough.
The bad news is I missed 3 of them, and maybe those were my best. Quinn trying to act as a ringleader. Kasipli joined him in midfield. Chipped ahead by Quinn and furthered up the right-hand flank. Foot in there is on point from Jerome. Pounding wide, ball across. Okoli somehow got his toe to that and knocks it wide of the post. Sean Okoli showing a little bit of the menacing character he brought to Cincinnati.
What's more concerning, the fact that they're able to drop this ball on a dime, is Kasipli once again, his distribution's been quite quality, both right and left-footed. But look at your back line, Jerome and Rebellon. He's sandwiched in between the two of them. Someone's got to put a body on him. You cannot let this ball drop in and allow him to get a shot off.
Devin, I think a fair number of people were saying the league has grown so much over the last 3 years. What is the 2016 MVP to a team in 2020 with Sean Okoli? I think the early returns are positive.
Especially considered he's got guys like Aiden Quinn and Kasipli being able to give him distribution going forward. Doesn't hurt that you've got Ini Voltson right behind him, and still getting tangled up with Kevin Alston on the near side, and you just got to build the confidence back in him, right? Has that crazy season in 2016, goes to NYCFC, things don't necessarily work out, takes off to Europe, finds himself back in the States, and you know, the recruitment to get him here was a difficult one, but a fun one, combining all those guys together. And now, what do? Early 30, 35 minutes, keep pumping balls in and try and instill some more confidence in your striker up top.
Okoli, a Seattle native, that played a major role, taking away Smith and Orozco playing catch. Darwin Jones, a Seattle native. And they turned to DeAndre Yedlin. The three of them came up together and played as youths through the Sounders organization. I'll bring Okoli back to the United States. Elsewhere, Tacoma has scored the first goal of the 2020 season. That half an hour in. I'm not sure that was what people had anticipated, no?
Good for him. Fighting Chris Littles. Ian Russell's not happy, but that's a quality start. Pacific Northwest.
Fighting what? Fighting Chris Littles. Tacoma intriguing this year. It is so hard to play in the Pacific Northwest. Playing at Portland, at Tacoma, at times has been a house of nightmares for opposition. Dissecting ball toward Ini Voltson. Coley got a touch to it. Palmer now. Palmer striding forward. Wide now, Alston on the cut. Alston, 5-hole, lifted over off of Ketterer by Ini Voltson.
This is why he was the top draft pick back in 2017 by the Columbus Crew. Watch Logan Ketterer. This thing in traffic, takes a little hop off the pitch just in front of him. Yeah, he spills it in the wrong spot, but really well done to immediately react, get out in front of this thing. Ini Voltson has had a couple sitters in his lifetime end up in the back of the net. In this exact situation, Ketterer does really well to keep him out.
Ball lifted across, that's handled with ease, but there may be a second ball on the way. Kasipli knocks it wide. Ball in front, sliding effort. Ketterer struggles but holds on after the slide by Ugo Okoli. I think we heard it best from Orange County's coach. How many times last year did they watch the film and say, if Ini Voltson was there? Well, now Ini Voltson and Okoli are there.
This one's definitely not offside. Notice how all the Paso players just kind of stopped, and this is the side that I'm talking about. They need to overload it over here. Kevin Alston starts to play a higher line, and there's just so much space to take advantage of.
Back heel draws some applause.
Kasipli and Cameron Palmer have flip-flopped. Get the ball on the right foot of his, but again, there is just so much over on the near side of the television for these guys to have a little bit of fun. I'm actually quite surprised that Orange County is allowing their outside backs to sit this deep. Normally we see them much higher.
The overlapping run didn't come to fruition. 34 minutes in the books. Scoreless between Orange County and El Paso. Week one, always a chance to put yourself top of the table. There's Palmer again. He's overrun. All bounding back. Jerome steps in and floated out. Some of these chants, I'm thinking Dollar Beer Night is off and running in Orange County. Got it forward, and Toko got it away from Okoli in the second effort on point. Remember the pass out, bit of a struggle. Further now for Okoli, and Toko steps away, and there's Ross. Felt like the opening 20 minutes, Devin, the passing in the back was so crisp. It's been a little less so in the last 15.
Locomotive are chasing right now. You can see that some of that shape that Mark Lowry is talking about in preseason and in our conversations with him is it's just not really panning out the way they want it to. Guys are chasing a lot more. I mean, has Dylan Maris touched the ball? He's a guy who has been basically vacant in the middle of the field. And that can't happen, especially not when you're playing this diamond-type formation. Ross and Zola chasing a lot, and now you're seeing Bassetti drop back in, and that's kind of what I was talking about. They just need a bit more depth. They're getting so linear in their efforts that when they try and build up, no one's venturing out of their comfort zone. That's why you're seeing a lot of one-offs. When these balls are getting played in behind, it's kind of real similar, to be honest, Mike, of what we saw last year, where it's 1-2 guys going forward. And even though the buildup gets you to midfield, you're not getting anything further than that. And they're having trouble progressing down the pitch.
Smith. Sostamo. Smith launching. That's wayward. So, Devin, in your mind, is it trying to get personnel to venture a bit more, or do you consider changing your tactics at this stage of the game, because it was a bit in flux coming in?
So let's start with that. It's 37 minutes in. Everybody's going to be fine. But if you want to have a little fun with it right now, you just need to tweak your shape. And for El Paso Locomotive, I want 2 guys on the ball. I'm dropping Zola in. I'm moving Bassetti out to the wing. I'm moving Ross over to the wing as well. And I'm letting Mares come into the midfield and play in your 10. Find a way to let Lomas have a little fun by himself. He can be that isolated number 9 focal point type striker. This way you've got coverage in the middle of the field. When Orange County start to flatten themselves out, not only do you have your 2 holding midfielders to go, you can pull in one of the outside guys as well. Your outside backs can step up and apply the pressure when the likes of Kevin Alston or Nathan Smith comes in. Right now they're just chasing though. They're allowing Orange County to dictate their own terms in this match.
Rebellon. Flicked ahead by Bassetti. Alston bombs it the other way. 10th anniversary season for the championship and for Orange County. Orange County played their opening year at Titan Stadium at Cal State Fullerton. There is one member of their opening 18-man roster that is still playing in the USL Championship. Their opening game was April 15th, 2011 in Puerto Rico against Sevilla FC Puerto Rico. And to give you a hint, Devin plays in the Southwest, outside back. Played on an expansion team a year ago. Why don't you mull it? Mull it over. Not playing tonight. Will likely play tomorrow.
Appreciate that one.
Halftime we'll show you the slate around the league. That really wasn't much of a help. Zeddy denied. Here comes Ini Voltsen, their 4 orange shirts converging toward goal. Ini Voltsen further still. There's Zola, with Orange County having pushed forward. El Paso will do the same. Lomas charging through, but ultimately it didn't get that far. Since that time, Orange County was really the only team carrying the flag for the league on the West Coast. All the teams that have joined since then. Jake Edwards was with ESPN FC, Sebastian Salazar talking about it this week. Mentioned El Paso, but Phoenix and the Galaxy too themselves have been to a final. Floats out of play. This will be a corner.
No love for Sac Republic in 2014, huh?
I was getting there.
Just saying.
I was getting there.
All right.
Reno, Vegas, El Paso,
Brecky's
Austin.
listening. He'll come get you.
He will. I think he has your number. I don't think he has mine.
My old burner phone.
Braden Cloutier talked to us last year about, he said 8 years ago, it almost felt like a glorified Sunday league. And the difference now, night and day. Ball across, attempted bike, no. Standards for pro soccer in this country have vastly improved. This year, more games, longer season than ever before.
Get it and play quick here. Don't let him organize. Up tempo coming off the quick little restarts coming in, not allowing your opposition to put all the ducks in a row. That's one thing that both these teams have definitely been lacking, and that was a good look at it. Pick the ball up, throw it, and go again. Especially because it's coming off a restart in the corner.
Pounding down, ahead by Ini Voltsen. Okoli continues to push. Picked up by Ketterer. Not too late to become a 2020 season ticket holder. Unlock amazing benefits, such as a 15% discount. This ball launched across right at Ketterer. 15% discount on merchandise, preferred parking, match exchange program, priority playoff access, and the lowest ticket prices offered. OrangeCountySoccer.com/season tickets. Reserve yours now. All 17 home games this year on Riverview, California, and select road games as well. So, chance to keep up both in the stadium and from home. Palmer. Pressure mounting from Orange County. Alston stayed on side, carried it wide. This deflects and comes to Ketterer. Toko cedes possession back to Orange County. Dynamic ball through, excellent effort by Ini Voltsen. Corkscrewing to the ground, and Ketterer able to hang on.
Stretching the game once again. Sometimes it's not even fair, right? We talked about Kasipli and Sean Okoli up top, and then Ini Voltsen just seems to slide back through. He was actually sitting on the back shoulder of Ugo Okoli. Rebellon playing chase once again. He's having a rough go of it out there. Mike approaching halftime right here. I was just kind of looking at the statistics that are coming across, and you look at pass matrices, who's touched the ball, completion percentage. I'm looking at the numbers right now, and I asked if Dylan Mayers had touched the ball. Only 2 players have touched the ball less than he has.
Goalkeepers?
Goalkeeper, Logan Ketterer. More concerning, Marius Lomas. He's only touched the ball 7 times. So that's exactly what we were talking about. You cross over midfield, you want to get into that attacking third, you got to get your playmakers on the ball, and they just haven't been able to do so.
Holy opta, Batman.
Well, the good news is you could still see it without going into the numbers, right? The numbers just kind of solidify it on the back end of everything.
Coley a little bit shaken up. There's an influx of bubbles make their way into the fray as well. Deceive me. Shouldn't be much stoppage time in this first half. Smooth start to the season for both. 1 added minute. Orozco, former U.S. international. Turned over. Maybe there is one more chance to be had here. Palmer. Inivolson wants it out in front of him. Inivolson, tight angle, and that's lifted away by Antoko. Will there be time for a corner?
He's right here to be frustrated. He's asking for the check harder to the near post. When he darts off this shoulder and comes at the diagonal run, watch him as he picks his head up last minute. Beautifully done, just drifting in between the center backs, and then he goes. Gets down to the byline right here. Someone's got to be crashing the party on the near post. 4 white jerseys, and there's the frustration. Said, guys, you got to come with me.
Corner coming, and there's the halftime whistle. End of the first half of the 10th anniversary season. Opening night for Orange County and El Paso. It was Josh Suggs, by the way.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that.
Takeaway from the first half.
El Paso Locomotive struggling a little bit. They changed the shape. They can change the outcome of this game. Got to find a way to utilize the wings. Conversely, I'd like to see the outside backs and more pressure from Orange County push this line higher and pin this team even further in their own defensive spots.
Scoreless thus far. The opening goal of this 2020 season has occurred elsewhere, up in Tacoma. Mark Lowry and Braden Cloutier trying to will 3 points out of opening night. Devin gives a look at his MVP candidates when we come back.
Opportunity and a goal! A beautiful goal by Orange County. Gets the ball here, cuts inside.
Goal! Orange County!
And a goal!
The Orange County Soccer Club Pro Experience membership, designed to accelerate your training and enable you to reach the professional performance levels of the biggest leagues around the world. Membership includes free tickets to 7 home matches, training sessions with coaches and technical director Franz Hoke, live events with leading soccer minds like Brad Friedel, Raphael Wicki, and Keisuke Honda, and many additional benefits. Go to orangecountysoccer.com/pro experience.
for you at halftime. We'd like to honor a few local league champions from our community. And first up, we have Santa Ana High School boys soccer team. Turn around, guys, face the stand. These guys were winners of the Orange Coast League for the boys soccer team. Give them a round of applause.
Local champions from around Orange County, Santa Ana High School first out of the Orange Coastal League being announced onto the field.
Right,
Always feels good to take the field at Championship Soccer Stadium. Devin Kerr, Mike Watts, it's scoreless at the half. There's some MVP candidates, maybe even in this game that you have your eye on over the course of this year, Dev.
Maybe not, maybe.
Maybe.
Let's start with the big names, right? Solomon Asante, how could it not be? Reigning 2019 USL Championship MVP, a guy who has pretty much shown us the past 2 seasons he can do everything and more, and we know at the end of the season he needs to be better. Nico Brett, now this is my wild card. Because of everything that Tommy Sohn has done with Birmingham Legion, do not sleep on them. The departure of J.J. Williams can hurt him, hopefully not. Ine Volson, there he is. Told you, the Great Dane, part 2. Coming back to the West Coast, he's going to have some fun up top. They paired him with some nice pieces. How can you not sleep on Cameron Lancaster? Don't do it. Lou City on loan from Nashville SC. He stays healthy. He stays hungry. That could be a winner. Last but not least, the Spaniard, Santi Moar, coming over from New Mexico United. The only thing you have to figure out with him is, do they have too many toys? Where can you play him on the field? Phoenix is really, really deep this year.
It's like LeBron James and Anthony Davis. They're taking votes from one another.
Exactly. But we don't vote.
No, we don't. The wait is finally over. Orange County and El Paso kicking off the 10th anniversary season and the 2020 season. Here's a message from USL Championship about just that.
Come on, come on. Nice and tight here. Bring it in tighter. Nice and tight.
Everything we do matters. Very few people in the world ever get an opportunity like this.
We talked about making history, right? And what are you going to do to change history? When it's your turn to make a tackle, are you going to make that tackle? Are you going to score the goal? Are you going to make the save and throw a few miracles for us? Grab your freaking moments. That's my point.
Huge credit to every one of you. Massive performance coming on, the way that you press, and please for every one of you.
This is an awesome time, and we're going to show them that we're for real. We are for real because we all believe in each other, right? This is our moment. This is our moment to shine.
Every single day, guys, we have to fight to create our identity.
Take your moment within the games and make them your moments. Let's go out there and kick. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. 1, 2, 3.
Two U.S. men's national team legends are set to square off as Landon Donovan leads San Diego Loyal SC into their inaugural USL Championship match against Eric Winalda and the Las Vegas Lights. In front of a raucous crowd at Torero Stadium, it's Donovan versus Winalda, this time from the sidelines, as the USL Championship returns to ESPN Networks. Don't miss out. The 2020 championship season kicks off Saturday, March 7th at 10 p.m. Eastern.
Hey guys, how's it going? Kelsey Steele, Scott Stewart here from USL HQ in beautiful Tampa, Florida. How better to get this season going than laying out our top signings
to get a more advanced position on the field?
Sit in. It's Jimmy Alford!
Himself from attacking the back four, gets that chance to bury it. That gives Earl Edwards Jr. absolutely no chance. Why? Because it's in the top corner. You're never going to have a chance. It's over the wall. It's the perfect.
Popped up Moore with the left. Oh! And Moore with the second goal. He now has a brace.
Look at the touch there. That's Soler. Great ball over the top by Wehan. And then how about the shot here?
Welcome back, everybody. The spotlight is on this one. Orange County Soccer Club, El Paso Locomotive from OC Great Park. 60 degrees and gorgeous in Southern California. Mike Watts, Devin Kerr. Let's take a look at the news and notes that are making some waves at the beginning of this 2020 season. Some expansion teams making their way in. Miami FC have a dignified history, their first year in the USL Championship. San Diego Loyal debuts tomorrow.
Mario Williams, you ever heard of him?
I have.
He's going to be there. Sebastian Velasquez?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good guy. Oh, Landon Donovan.
Is he playing? He's not playing.
Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. That's Timmy Howard. He's getting involved. Yeah, I think it's going to be fun for the expansion teams. Not as many as we've seen in seasons past, but I'm excited. I want to see Miami FC. I think they could turn some heads. Picked up Vincent Bezecourt from New York Red Bulls 2 and Lance Rosenbaum. I mean, they've done some serious work that it's not going to be one of the flat-footed expansion franchises of years past. Expect them to be right there in the hunt.
By the way, I got the app. I did not choose all 35 teams to follow. Which ones did I follow? You're not getting the answer out of me. Here's the Destination Irvine upcoming schedule in the Eastern Conference. All these games on ESPN+.
Promise you this, Lou City will not lose 4-1 in their opening game to North Carolina FC like they did last year. And the tempo that will be set by the Tampa Bay Rowdies on the road. Can Neil Collins continue his progression? They struggled with it so many times in previous years. Last year they did. They were the talk of the town for quite some time. He's another one who's reinforced some things. And Charleston Battery, rebrand. Get to have a little fun with the youngsters, Atlanta United 2, Stephen Glass.
We'll see if Mike Anhauser can pilot that side back into the postseason in a new home venue. Meanwhile, Destination Irvine, upcoming Western Conference schedule. We'll be on ESPN News for San Diego Loyal and Las Vegas Lights, as well as on the ESPN app. The rest exclusively on ESPN+.
Don't sleep on Austin Bold. Wonder what New Mexico United's going to look like now, year 2. You know, the honeymoon phase is over. The Open Cup run is over. Time to step up and make the most of it. OKC, new coach. Thomas Olave. What a season. What a year he had. Starts on the road at Toyota. That's a difficult ask. And for a team that's got a coaching change as well on their own. San Diego Loyal, you talked about it, Las Vegas. Last but not least, LAFC 2. Just kidding. FC Tulsa at Sacramento Republic.
Orange County and El Paso are level at halftime. No goals between them. Take a look at the highlights. There were plenty. Players back on the field. Second half is coming up shortly.
At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, there is no one better at getting you back to you.
Ignore the score in the middle of your screen. Look at the score at the bottom left corner. It is not 28-3. Scoreless here at halftime between Orange County and El Paso. Mike Watts, Devin Kerr. Let's take a look at our first half highlight from this affair. And 4-0-0 game, a lot of possession, and you called it two teams mirroring each other. We begin in the 9th minute.
We all questioned as to whether or not number 9, Okoli, could get it done. Well, 9 minutes in, he almost does. I like this run on the backside. And we saw that a few times, not only out of him, but Eni Boltson as well. And that's what you need to do, instill the confidence, go after it. El Paso Locomotive with counterpunch, though. They started to get into this match 15, 20 minutes in. I like this back shoulder run here behind Orozco. It just got to be a bit more precise, and that's what Mark Lowry said. He said we needed to be better in the final third. They've 100% been lacking here in the opening 45 minutes. But the good news is they found themselves into the game. The problem was it was only about a 5 or 6 minute spell. In that 20 to 25 minute mark, I really liked what I saw out of Mario Slomas. This is the chance, 23rd minute, top of the 18, almost right in the top corner.
Terrific save by the 17-year-old netminder Aaron Cervantes. And then in the 32nd minute, Alston got forward time and time again. Devin, you were suggesting Orange County could really exfoliate this side.
Did it twice. Both times it came up with quality opportunities. This is the first one, the strike by Alston, and Boltson got in. You also had nice distribution from Kisipli, who had rotated over here, found the one on the back post. But again, confidence as well. It's the two guys up top that are going to be the most important for the success of this team, especially when they start to open up the offense and really get that high gear going. This is what I'm talking about. 2018, remember? A couple volleys ended up in the back of the net. That's what he's trying to find out here. These guys are still in preseason. So the fact that they're already getting that mental thought process out of the way, I like it. Just got to keep stoking that fire.
First half stats are brought to you by Pro Sport. 9 total shots. Possession even so far.
Shocked at that one, actually. There was a lot of chasing being done by El Paso Locomotive. Knowing how Mark Lowry's mind works, I'm excited to see what he does in the second half, because I told you I'd already like to spread this out a little bit. You don't have to make a change in terms of personnel right now. You know, 3 shots, 2 shots on target. Nothing great, nothing bad. I just don't think they were dangerous enough, El Paso. Orange County is controlling this match right now.
Scoreless here at halftime between Orange County and El Paso. As the remainder of the players and the coaching staff make their way back onto the field. And Devin, there's a name here that I think you as a Liverpool fan should know. Back before Christmas, Rangers and Orange County culminating a new partnership by having some youth players experience either side of the pond. It's resulted in multiple loanees and as well a plan to continue to develop that relationship.
Really, really cool to hear the emotion coming out of Braden Cloutier and Oliver Weiss, exactly what they're trying to do. You've already seen one of them on the pitch tonight in Cameron Palmer, but he said that a lot of these guys, both within their own organization and the Rangers playing coming over, have gotten go back and forth. Steven Gerrard, anytime his name is attached to anything, take all my money, take it, take my eyes, but not the shirt. And the good news is that it's already started to pay its dividends. Cameron Palmer in the 18 and a couple of their youth boys have gone across the pond to have some fun, but it's, you know, that continued progression we talk about where what's the next step? Okay, you've done it locally, you start to do it nationwide, they're trying to go global.
How did Liverpool do this week?
What's the next question, Mike?
What do you think of Smith in that first half, his debut for the club?
Good. I actually thought it was impressive. I would like him to have a balance now on the left side. You know, Braden talked about how he can move both he and Kevin Alston from the left to the right respectively. He was very active on that right side, but we didn't necessarily see that over on the left. And when you start to keep an opponent honest, where you challenge both sides, that's when you have the luxury to open your game up a bit. And you know, it was very one-sided on the right, especially when Kisipli rotated back over there. That became a nice little 1-2 punch that we could see develop itself further come the rest of this season.
Devin, 2 things that I did want to get in before the half. The Josh Suggs trivia question. Alex Mansfield got that right as well over on Twitter, so thanks for playing the game. Meanwhile, your thoughts on Krusty the Pie, Wigan Athletics' new mascot. I'm hearing that you have strong opinions on this.
I thought it was interesting. I think it's fun that everybody's, you know, trying to tie things together, and you know, we saw it out of Birmingham. Yeah, it's fun. It's all in good fun, right? Social media is an amazing thing, and you know, to think that what could have been. I mean, imagine Eric Cantona from Manchester United having some fun with like the Red Bulls back in the, obviously they weren't around, but you'd have to go all the way back. Imagine him like creating a partnership with Chicago Fire or something. Too fun.
Meanwhile, your takeaway from how the center backs from El Paso fared, Chiro and Toko finally getting a chance to play significant minutes. The guy he planned to play with all of last year, Michak Jerome.
Ntoko good, Drum bad. It looks like he's still coming back from an injury. To be fair, I don't think Rebellon did him any favors on that right-hand side. There was a lot of space. With Zola in front of him, they're covering a lot of ground, or asked to cover a lot of ground, and that's some of the shape-shifting I was talking about, where if they just tweak it here and there, it makes it a lot easier on this back four.
Fox goes in hard, cleans him out. Fox maybe not quite 100% yet. Native of England who moved to Texas to be with his wife and ended up jumping into the El Paso situation. Great fit for all involved. Guy who Mark Lowry said he did not know in advance.
It's a fun little knock. Right out of the tunnel. Have a seat. You've been sitting for 15 minutes, man. Let's get it going. Remember at one point last year, and we were talking about injuries earlier for El Paso Locomotive and their scoring woes, if you will. They threw Andrew Fox up top. He was playing striker. He was their point man for a few games there.
Finished with 2 goals a year ago in 30 games. Actually was a really good goal scorer at St. Edward's University, believe it or not. Better than a goal every 2-game average. It will be Kasipli or Quinn. Quinn knocks it over the top, punched away. Chance maybe to hit it on the volley. Instead, tapped wide. Quinn never made that run, and so Chrysostomo dipping, diving, dodging around. Quinn up the line again. Chrysostomo launches across. That's knotted away. Came out by Kasipli. Doesn't have Okoli on the same page.
Want to talk about some skill? You said the wonder move was Chrysostomo coming into the 11. This is why. Watch him hold up possession here, and you forgot something. Yep, Alexi Bassetti. Yeah,
you too, Lomas.
Yeah. Bad boys. Stay. Good boy.
He had all 5 Ds of dodgeball.
Yeah.
Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and
dodge.
Dodge.
Well done.
Here we go. This is what we're here for.
Yeah.
Right out of the penalty area. Zola. Knocked away on that ball, back to Zola. Support is slow. Handball, edge of the penalty area. It'll be a free kick. And Rebellon, who has not had the best start to 2020, arguing his case.
He catches an unfortunate bounce here, but you know, from the angle that we saw initially, it comes right off him to the right arm. Yeah, and he falls down and actually catches the left and then the right. You just wonder for Menchak Jerome why he's playing the ball in the first place, because he's already retreating. So no matter what, it's going to be a negative touch into space coming off your center back to your outside back, which means you're pinning yourself in the corner. And Orange County has been very vocal about the fact that they want to play much higher. That play's been mandated for sure. You can see the pressure, making it difficult, and you're pretty much making it harder on yourself. It's unnecessary. But with all the pieces that they've added, this is another luxury you have. Left footer, right footer. You can get Indy Voltson into the box, and he's the one that 2 years ago would be standing over this ball.
Indy Voltson standing top of the 18. It's Kasipli and Quinn behind the ball. Michael Radchuk, the referee, continues to explain the ground rules. It's a wall of 3. It'd be a very tough angle to try and beat Ketterer. Maybe they'll have a go. Kasipli lofting, knocked on further, and floated straight up after Okugo. Okoli couldn't get a touch. Attack still on. Aim toward Orozco. Indy Voltson.
Well, we had the handball a second ago, and let's run it back just inside. Everybody's screaming for it. Does it catch him? Watch this come drop right down in. Absolutely it does. And that's inside the box as well. That's a penalty. You get a much better angle now. Watch when this comes in off the left arm. And that's Nick Ross, one who had actually found the back of the net early on, but they called it back offside.
Fox falls. Lomas, good save. Cervantes comes out and now swipes it up. He's lost the handle on it, but the referee blows for a stoppage. Zola goes to check on Cervantes. And Lomas has come close a couple times to opening his account in El Paso.
Not sure if he meant to when they tried to counter going the other way. Pretty much knocks the ball out here. Cervantes decides to stay home, and the unfortunate bounce on one did turns fortuitous for the striker on the other, coming off Kevin Alston. Just going back to that ball Orange County played back across. The idea was there. Rob Kiernan, they were trying to find him on the back post, just showed up a little short. Okoli couldn't get to it quick enough. Already things opening up here 5 minutes into the second half.
One has to wonder, Devin, if this is beginning to gain the feel of a game decided by a quirky bounce. Ryan pointing backward, and the pass doesn't come off. The ball control here is simply outstanding. And the switch. Smith. Leaving the penalty area, Ketterer is a little bit of a mess. And Chrysostomol commits the foul. Big West midfielder of the year. A finalist for Sueño MLS back in 2013. Came through the Chivas USA and the Galaxy Academy. He was with future USL Championship coach, Coach Munoz at Chivas USA. Sipley couldn't sneak that into the center of midfield, but follows up dutifully. And a kick at Fox. Those two have had a couple run-ins already in this half.
Just sending a message, because Sipley's begging for it here. Gets right up in his face and has a few words. The Englishman just letting him know, I'm not going to take it. I don't mind it either. You got to stick up for yourself here, and Andrew Fox just sending a message. They've absorbed a lot of pressure and gets hacked down to the ground right there. Lucky he doesn't get carded, to be honest. And then watch Sipley just stands right up in his face, and that'd probably react in the same manner.
Well, he clipped him on the heel and then followed with his right foot, and Fox taking clear offense to that. Fox asking what kind of product Sipley uses in his hair. Fox is shown a yellow. First yellow card shown in this game, brought to you by Easy Fleet GPS. Nearly 2,600 minutes for Fox last year. He had just 4 yellow cards. Kiernan. Ryan nods it forward. Fox, Sipley closes him down. To Ryan. Jerome. Zola. Dissecting ball up that right-hand side through the back line. Slide, strong. Orange County come away with it. You can see a bit of what we heard from the coaching staff at Orange County about Kiernan in the back.
He's been quality. side of the ball, El Paso Locomotive just got a better look of what they're capable of. Look, you pay quick and one-touch passing. This game's quite easy, isn't it? Problem is they haven't been able to do that. They're starting to put the pieces together now as gets taken down on the far side, but I'm still telling you, there's not enough width for this team. You're relying on distribution being swung into the box by the likes of Andrew Fox and Rebellon, and they can't get involved in the attack that much. Nick Ross and Distel Zola aren't going to give you that stretch either, especially when they're playing in this diamond right now. So that's when they go route run right up through the middle. That's how they've been creating most of their chances.
Your eyes here are on. Has floated forward. Didn't quite get through to Lomas. Jerome left all alone. Lomas directing traffic out in front. He's looking for it. Zola knocks it wide again. This toward Lomas.
Fans, you can continue to enjoy the USL on ESPN through the 2022 season. The USL is excited to announce that the championship in League One will remain with the leader in sports for 3 more years. ESPN Plus will continue to be the home of all things USL, and at least 19 games a year will be featured on the ESPN family of networks, including 9 games on ESPN Deportes. Continue to follow, support, and watch your club on ESPN and ESPN
Smith and Ntoko will usher that back. USL Championship returns to ESPN Networks in iconic fashion Saturday, March 7th, tomorrow night. 2 U.S. soccer legends collide. Landon Donovan and 2020 newcomers San Diego Loyal SC in front of a sold-out Torero Stadium, hosting Eric Winalda and the Las Vegas Lights. It's Saturday, March 7th, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, live on ESPN News. Play will come back, and an immediate card shown by Michael Radchuk. Hayden Quinn still down. Get a better look at it.
Yeah, Rebellon know that as soon as this first touch gets away from him, he just continues through on Hayden Quinn, who takes one for the team here. Apologizes right away. Kind of one where you just walk away and hope to get away with something. More active here in the second half. That's a good look. Both he and Andrew Fox. It's what I was talking about. Just wonder at what point in time is Mark Lowry going to go to his bench.
The yellow card was brought to you by Easy Fleet GPS. Well, one would think Josue Aaron Gomez might be top of your list, but a lot of kind words about Saeed Robinson as well. There are dynamic playmakers on this El Paso bench, despite the loss of Kiesewetter, Velasquez, and Contreras year over year to make an impact.
You've got Luis Herrera, goes by Chapa as well. Those are the 3 guys that jump out to me, and it all just depends on what he wants this to look like for the final 30 minutes and when he decides to make that change. I like the idea of bringing Robinson on. I think you can stretch this game out, gives you a dimension that you don't have.
Well, Coley was trying to sneak through. Ini Voltson was most certainly offside. Whether or not Okoli was, different question.
Yeah, I don't see this out of Okoli as well at all. I mean, watching where he was lined up with Jerome and Ntoko, he was on. The linesman sees Ini Voltson in his sights for sure, which is the problem. And look, you look at Orange County as well. They've definitely been the more dominant team, but it's still 0-0. You have nothing to show for it. So does Braden start to make a change? You think that maybe bringing the 19-year-old Cameron Palmer off, he's kind of faded in this game, opening 10 minutes. A little crisp, but maybe not necessarily the bag of goods that we were sold, at least not so far.
Lomas sidestepping Palmer. Zola lays it through now. Tight quarters, Zola puts it on the ground. And Smith kept that in. By the way, we mentioned Velasquez came in midway through last year from South Korea. He left for Miami FC in the Eastern Conference. Jerome Kiesewetter, former U.S. men's national team player, to Inter Miami, was sizzling to start and totally fizzled out. And then Contreras has gone as well.
Contreras gone, their outside back, who was dangerous. James Kiffey's gone.
Attack through, ball bouncing away from Alston, corner.
Lest we forget Edson Martinez back at Toluca, so revolving door for sure. El Paso Locomotive. Credit to Mark Lowry, who's been able to reload it. Still working out some of the kinks.
Contreras, Union Omaha, right?
Correct.
Devin's hometown club.
Right around the corner. They're getting ready to amp it up next week too.
Correct.
They'll be taking on the Inter Fort Lauderdale.
Over in
South Florida.
South Florida in the USL League One opening weekend. Right around the bend. Corner El Paso. And this knotted over the top. Sizzling pace on that. And Lomas, the big marksman in the middle, knotting it too high.
He's so good in traffic. Just look at him. 4 orange shirts around him. He times it perfectly. He starts on the back post, then starts to drift back in, peels off that shoulder, and steps right in front of the runner. If I hadn't seen in the past couple days or had a conversation with Dave Sarachan, I would have been really worried. But knowing what they've brought in and what they already had, I think they'll be just fine. But that's a real nice player that El Paso Locomotive were able to get their hands on.
Yep, took him away from North Carolina FC and the former U.S. men's national team interim manager. Zola, the Frenchman. Number 8 that Mark Lowry felt was lacking a year ago to play in a physical game like this. It's begun to spin into in this second half. Orozco. And it's the Orange County captain and native. Ball again, Kiernan now. Alston. Players releasing in orange. That's misguided. Not too late to become a 2020 Orange County Soccer Club season ticket holder. You can unlock amazing benefits, a 15% discount on merchandise, preferred parking, match exchange program, priority playoff access, and the lowest ticket prices offered. Go to orangecountysoccer.com/season tickets. Reserve yours now. 10th year for Orange County. They've been a rose of another name in the past. Started as Los Angeles Blues. Then OC Blues on Orange County SC. New ownership over the last year and a half. James Kesting coming in. Oliver Weiss still at the helm of soccer operations alongside Braden Cloutier. Came in 2 years ago. For what it's worth, in none of the games open the season for Orange County has there been a 0-0 draw. And if the fireworks don't happen now, every Friday is a firework night at this stadium this year.
Bit of foreshadowing. Anybody will take a goal at this point.
Quinn. Voldson stepping in, header right to Fox. Now a bit progressive. Advantage played. Zola on the bounce. Turn back by Mares. Fox. Cracking across. Zola gives it an effort. Lomas is following, kept alive. Mares. Never took his head up. Look at who remained in the box. That effort by Zola in the first place. Maybe now a chance to cross. There it is to the back post. Lomas can't get a touch. He's not the only one.
Kevin Alston gets lucky here. Tries to get cute playing out of the pack. A little cheeky little header right at the top of the 18. Ends up not coming the other way, and Locomotive are starting to work their way back in now. Quality possession. You can see that they're utilizing the width of the field now and then still challenging the interior. There's a good look.
Mares on the move. Bazzetti towards Zola, and that's cut off. Excellent from Okoli. Ini Voldson. Okoli with long strides. There's Ini Voldson working on Ntoko, shifting gears. Knocked away, maybe a second try. Ini Voldson plays the switch beautifully. He's got his hand up in the air looking for service. Slid ahead toward Okoli. There's an appeal for offside. That goes unheard. It is a corner for Orange County. Devin, I think you look at the imposing bodies of Lomas and Jerome and Ntoko, and if you're Orange County, where are your eyes now? Is it 7 and 9 right there?
I'm going with 9. I'm also looking for Rob Kiernan. They tried to set a pick for him before, standing at just under 6'2". He's got to be one of the main ones. Put the pillars on the backside and just decide which one you want to go after. You get cute with a late run by Aiden Quinn. I'm going up top, though. Let your boys that are more technical work off on the second ball. Bring some in the back post, bring it back in. Run runners to the near post, utilize the space at the top of the 18. But when you've already got a crowded room and you've got Aiden Quinn crashing the party in the near post, you're cutting off your nose to spite your face. It's the same thing.
Because Sipley will get a second look at this, and we'll see what Orange County decides, whether they'll differentiate now. Kasipli whips in the corner. There's the second ball out. Kasipli may get another chance to whip across. That airmailed out, and maybe Orange County can provide a little bit of pressure off that, although El Paso at times has looked quite comfortable playing through it. Devin, what surprised you most so far, if anything, from the first 70 minutes between these two teams?
Start with El Paso Locomotive, the fact that they still really don't have a presence out on the wings, even with the addition of their outside backs getting higher.
Kasipli has an idea. Ketterer has an answer.
I'm also a bit surprised at the lack of ball movement into the feet of Univoltsen and Ugo Okoli up top. We saw that immediately opening 15, 20 minutes of the first half that they went after it, but that just hasn't been the case. Now I'm going to give a little credit to the back line of El Paso Locomotive, but they're not doing anything groundbreaking. Some of it's laziness, to be honest. And the willingness to challenge yourself as an individual player. Okoli's pretty much standing in the middle of the field, you know, and they're just trying to find him, and he's not really going anywhere. Diagonal runs, that's all coming from Univoltsen, who's stepping in underneath. You have to evolve, right, as the game goes on. That's a word that you hear out of a lot of coaches, especially when it comes to preseason, and whether it's coming from a sub on the bench or your own personal performance, you got to change, and this is the one that I thought was coming. Cameron Palmer, I think from what you saw right now, Braden's not going to be overly excited about what went on here, but it will be Edson Alvarado that's going to come in and take over for him, and that's the easy change. You wonder now if maybe they go a bit more direct in the middle of the field, get into some traditional spots, drop into more of a 4-2-3-1.
Off that restart, back towards Zola, and recovered by Orange County. Alvarado didn't play a ton last year. Was playing with the League 2 side out of Tijuana's setup. Occasionally we see guys like Tomas Univoltsen who come in their first year, and he is much more seasoned than a Cammy Palmer, age-wise, experience-wise, and it just takes a while to get used to playing in the United States, playing away from home. Univoltsen jumped right into it and scored nearly 24 goals. Maybe a slower burn for some of these young Rangers players that are coming in.
Regardless if it's them or anybody else, this early on, do the simple things first. Right, it's great to see the lofted ball over the top and trying to take it over your right shoulder, follow it, and then pull off a full volley. We all want to see that, right? But there have been a couple of opportunities here where the simplistic route is definitely the better option. And the decision-making has just been lacking on both sides of the ball, for both teams, to be fair. But still, just outside 15 minutes. Go out and get some points here, because right now, neither team looking like they really want it.
Hayden Quinn starting to bark a bit in midfield. Cervantes. They said Okoli came from an offside position, but play continues. And Toko sets a bit of a screen and allows Ketterer out. Ross can't catch up to this, and meanwhile Smith couldn't play it on. Lomas combining with Mares. Further on now for Zola. Olsen covering a ton of ground. Elsewhere, Reno's made up for their early deficiencies. Jack Scahan and Cristiano Francois have scored in the second half of that. It's now 2-1 there.
They added some nice pieces out there in Reno. Scahan's a fun one.
He is.
University of Michigan product. The Wolverine will play on both wings. Got a wondrous left foot, and Francois.
A little scatter shot.
Yeah.
But beside that,
yeah,
certainly electric. This is the end for Alexi Bizzetti. In the beginning for Aaron Gomez.
stereotypical for both managers here. 15 minutes to go. New energy, new legs, and like-for-like substitutions. Now who's going to step up and take the reins? Take advantage of this opportunity put forth.
Noting Gomez did score 6 times in 17 appearances. Only 8 starts a year ago. Win for either side would even up their all-time record in season openers. Orange County's 10th, El Paso in their 2nd season. Both made the playoffs, both avoided the play-in round. Both eventually dispatched by Real Monarchs in Utah. As the Salt Lake City side won their first USL Championship final crown. Elsewhere around the championship, plenty of action tomorrow night on ESPN Plus, and the game of the week airs over on ESPN News. Mexico kicking things off in what I think is a hotly anticipated 2nd year for them as well. That Monarchs San Antonio game has a lot of juicy storylines, doesn't it?
I think for the Monarchs, though, you're going to see right out the gate, it's not going to be the championship winning squad you saw at the end of 2019 in Louisville. Take some time to work themselves into this season and figure out exactly what they're working with. They got a lot of young talent that are going to be challenged, and you know, can they step up? It's like Luke Mulholland and Jack Blake in the middle of the field. They just have a lot of tools to play with.
FC Tulsa totally retooled. Kraft family taking ownership of that. Mark Briggs' new team, Sacramento Republic FC. Speaking of a retooled side, they added a bunch of really quality pieces. And yet here, there's still 13 minutes plus stoppage to find a winner. There's the extra touch out to Smith. Chrysostomol. Might be a bit tough to unbalance a team as defensively stout as El Paso was a year ago this way. A charge into this from Edith Olsen. Goes curling off target. El Paso tied for the best defensive record in the Western Conference last year. Only gave up 36 goals in 34 games.
You're able to get a chance from about 25 yards out, but the problem is, Mike, is in the buildup, the initial ball has to be sooner. When you turn in the middle and you see Nathan Smith put this thing on a 25-yard ball on the deck, spread it out, and you start to stretch El Paso. Now you have the luxury of going 2, 3, 4 options. You can look for Okoli or Edie Voltson. Instead, it's a second pass in the middle, then you come back outside, then you go back down the middle. It's too many steps to take right now. You can be more direct without being fancy. Just play quicker.
Pressure beginning to hit home for Orange County, and El Paso knocks it forward. That's a handball.
Paso Locomotive FC substitution in the 79th minute. Even the field number 21.
Zola, Monaco youth, and really it was a torn ACL and a strugglesome rehab that dismantled elements of his career. Yuma comes on with 11 minutes to go. Devin, what's that substitution mean the rest of the way?
This game's going to slow down a bit more. You're going to try and kill it off here. I'm not saying they're hunting for that 1 point, but Yuma, not necessarily known for his pace, a tactician nonetheless. It gives you another added piece for knocking the ball around the park, but just kind of keeping an eye right now on Mario Lomas. He's become a bit more central. I'm watching Dylan Mayers, who's come over to the left side now. Not right now, but it's almost just watching kind of what you were alluding to a second ago, where they're dropping themselves down a bit deeper, maybe just hoping to pick up the ball and look, if they can send him on a long run, great. If not, let's just get out of here with a point.
Nice tap over by Okoli, but Eni Voldsen couldn't catch up. Turned over, it's Chrysostamo again. Aiden Quinn. Simply had hoped to combine. Instead, Smith, Orozco. Orange County a little more compressed into the final third offensively than they have been. Chrysostamo has found the width. That's the pass Steven was looking for. Collision and a free kick for El Paso. Fans, you can follow El Paso Locomotive, Orange County, and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN+. It's home to the USL Championship, USL League One, MLS, UFC, and more. Join the nearly 8 million sports fans who already discovered ESPN+. Watch the championship live every week. Sign up today, ESPNplus.com. They grow up so fast. 8 million now.
It was the beginning of the end for me. That thing came out.
Devin's free time disappearing. Ball played through. Simply a chance. Out comes Catterer to smother it. And then Toko looking for takers. Maybe the fact this is the opener for both teams is beginning to catch up to the legs. The 22 on the field. Strong step again, and there is a foul. Goes against Quinn. Well, we heard maybe Kasimpli would be a bit under the radar. You can't be under the radar if you score in your debut, nearly.
Obviously not guaranteed goals, but I promise you this. If not for Logan Ketterer, this could be 2-0. High quality saves. Eni Voldsen in the first half. Kasimpli now in the second. Someone's buying him dinner. It's been a quality performance for Logan Ketterer.
Ketterer has to back in again. And now he'll come out and collect in front of Eni Voldsen.
It still goes back to when they're playing out of the back to what Mark Lowry, talked about kind of last year, putting this team together in their expansion year, how he went after Logan Ketterer right away because of how good he is with his feet. And you're seeing that tonight. Stepping off the line, willing to get involved in possession.
He didn't play in Columbus. Zach Steffen was the man when he was there. But he did practice around the system that Greg Berhalter uses in their buildup. That appealed to Mark Lowry. Yuma's making vertical motions. El Paso right now a little more horizontal than it appears he'd appreciate. Every Friday night home match in 2020, Orange County fans will get to witness an awe-inspiring post-game fireworks show. Come early, stay late, as each Friday fireworks match features dollar draft beer from 6 to 7 p.m. Get your tickets now, orangecountysoccer.com/tickets. Dev, you want to stick around tonight?
Did you say something?
See the fireworks?
I'm in.
I hear they're awe-inspiring.
See one of these boys and step up and show some fireworks of their own, right? Finish this thing off, 5 minutes to go.
That'd be some kind of finale. Both these teams are anticipated to be very good this year. El Paso finally reaching the final third. Fox delivers. That's denied. Recovered by Ross. Okole stepping in, making a bit of danger. The danger continues. Floated back by Jerome, and Toko under pressure. Knocked back. Ini Voltson. Okole, advantage play, cross, lifted, and caught by Ketterer. That was nearly the finale for Kasipli. What in the world was that?
How about the mistake on the back line once again?
That's what I was talking about.
Gee, they got to figure this out. You're just reaching a point in time as a defender where you are playing yourself out of the squad next week. Too many mistakes.
Gomez. Jerome is just coming back, his first competitive action since an Achilles injury at the Gold Cup with Haiti. Richie Ryan, now Yuma. And Yuma serves a ball forward. Away by Roscoe. Fox.
What a breakdown that he has had on the back line tonight. Jerome just 25 yards behind him, hanging, and Toko out to dry. Really well done by Okole to put a body on him. Ini Voltson feeds it, and you wonder, in true goal-scoring fashion, was he going to be selfish and try and go from a really rough angle? Not the case whatsoever. Beautiful ball to the back post. That ends up in the back of the net. Ian Russell is furious with the fact that he let him get away. What an acrobatic move by Sipley.
Look at this. Ball laid ahead. Mares trying to get on there again. In the end, this goes ricocheting out of play. Initially, there was an appeal for a handball. It was Gomez in the end who lashed at target.
Watch the back post run. There is about a 15-yard gap. Put that in the corner, and you come out of here with 3 points. Instead, you go the wrong direction. Lomas has capped himself in. Nick Ross had actually gone all the way to the backside of things on the ground. Is it a handball? That's difficult. It's next to the body. Move off. Catch the deflection. And again, Mike, that's some of the disconnect we talked about where 15, 20, 30 yards from goal, El Paso Locomotive just isn't at their best. They get a half chance at the end, but that's a wasted opportunity.
Game beginning to stretch a little bit in the final minutes. Orange County starting with 4 straight at home, but their next game not until they play San Diego March the 21st. First meeting between those two sides, and it's going to be a doozy. Orange County hosting one of their famous beer fests. It starts at 5 p.m., 50-plus craft beers, food trucks, long games. It'll be great. Orange County soccer.com/beerfest. As Sipley lays on. There's a bit of a tug there, according to this crowd. El Paso home to take on Timbers 2 next Saturday night. Reno's lead now 3-1 as it stands with 2 games in the books. They'd be top of the standings. Mares pushed away, and there's Orozco.
Well done. That's beautiful defending. Notice how you don't have to leave your feet or have an otherworldly tackle. Just a little shoulder shrug and get to go the other direction.
3 additional minutes.
All right, fans, get on your feet for stoppage time and cheer on your Orange County Soccer Club. Finish the game strong.
Gomez.
Strong.
Well, the crowd is starting to get amped up a bit as El Paso gets into the final third. Ushered through, Gomez chasing on the ball from Lomas. Michael Radchuk fell down as well in the middle of the field, lost his footing. Maybe here's the moment. Okoli, Ini Voldsen is able to drag it through. Instead, Orange County drops back in. Left a couple substitutes out of the fray tonight. No Darwin Jones, Kevin Coleman, Harry Forster. Variety of reasons. This deflects backward. Quinn. There's the separation for Nathan Smith. County looking for that one last good chance. Chapa Herrera in, Mares out. Final change for El Paso.
Why they didn't come sooner, right? Again, slowing the game down and just trying to get out of here with a point, which isn't a bad result. I mean, you got to give them that if they can hold out.
Headed forward by Kasipli.
Would have liked to have seen them go after this thing, Mike. I'm not saying that El Paso was the better team at all, but they definitely had opportunity.
Goal kick, and that may take us to full time. Well, there were chances down the stretch for either side to pull away. Logan Ketterer. Drives it away. They'll allow play on just a little while longer. Yuma. There's Kasipli. And maybe the moment is here. Up the line, Ini Voldsen. The goal here would certainly be a game winner. And that's it. Opening night 2020. 1 point apiece and one to the cutting room floor. It finishes scoreless between Orange County and El Paso.
We'll give it a fair result, Mike. You know, you kind of get the preseason jitters out of the way. The rust is definitely still here for these boys. The good news is that you did see some quality play. Remember, this is far from a finished product and really not going to see that take shape until you hit that 7, 8, 9, 10 game mark, depending on the coach that you talk to. I'm sure these boys will definitely be back to the drawing board and figure out exactly what they want this to look like going forward.
Well, finally, the beautiful game is back. Tonight it comes without a goal. Fireworks still ahead. Orange County and El Paso finish scoreless Take a look back at the game that was when we come back.
Opportunity and a goal! A beautiful goal by Orange County.
Gets the ball here, cuts inside.
Goal! Orange County!
And a goal!
The Orange County Soccer Club Pro Experience membership, designed to accelerate your training and enable you to reach the professional performance levels of the biggest leagues around the world. Membership includes free tickets to 7 home matches, training sessions with coaches and technical director Franz Hoek, live events with leading soccer minds like Brad Friedel, Raphael Wicki, and Keisuke Honda, and many additional benefits. Go to orangecountysoccer.com/pro experience.
Logan Ketterer keeps a clean sheet on the road, and the great defensive presence of El Paso Locomotive continues. Orange County settles for a point in their opener, and young Aaron Cervantes, who is the youngest player in league history to record a shutout, has yet another. With Devin Kerr, Mike Watts, let's pick up with second half highlights. We begin in the 50th minute. Fox knocking this forward. Lomas was everywhere in this second half at times.
Yeah, and I was concerned for a little bit when you take a look at how often he was on the ball. It wasn't that much. You take a look at kind of the breakdown. He basically only touched the ball once every 4 or 5 minutes the entire game. But when 4 of them are on frame, that's not the worst thing, right? I mean, he started to find some opportunity. He was too sparing, though. And that's the problem that they ran into. It was similar woes that they dealt with in 2019 that had just come into 2020. They've got to be better on the final third. But hey, it's the first game. That's okay. Logan Ketterer, fantastic tonight. Could have easily been 2 goals for him. Mitchak Jerome, this is going to be a night he would like to forget. Quite regularly, Chiro and Toko trying to bail him out. This is one that I honestly thought was going to be in the back of the net. Really well done here by Ugo Okoli to get this all the way to the back post, but it's a tough ask for Seth Sibley to try and get this on frame. He gets a tiny touch to it, but it's not enough to redirect it over Logan Ketterer. Right down the stretch, we had a couple more. I'm still going back to what I say, Mike. Look at the right side of the field. Put that ball down in the corner, and you get out of here with 3 points. I said it before, and I'm going to say it again, because you didn't do it all night long. All you have to do, pick your head up, put it 5 feet to your right, and this game is over with. Instead, half chance, ends up on the other side. Possession in favor of El Paso Locomotive, don't care. There was over 1,000 passes in this game. 1,000.
Is that good?
Are any that memorable to you? Handful. Not a good look.
Out of 1,000.
Not a good look. But again, we're 1 game in. The good news is you have 2 really talented coaches who'll go back, they'll watch the tape. They'll pick out about 90% of this game that they're not going to be happy with. The other 10% looks really good. Now they need to replicate it and just start to ante up that number a bit further each and every game as you progress in the season.
Full-time stats are brought to you by Pro Sport. And of course, no fireworks yet, but every Friday night home match in 2020, fans will see the awe-inspiring post-game fireworks. Come early, stay late. Each Friday firework match features dollar draft beers pregame. San Diego Loyal, Las Vegas Lights, ESPN News tomorrow night. You aren't going to want to miss it. Landon Donovan, Eric Wadalda, 2 impressive coaches here tonight as well. For our producer, Shani Yerke, director Gage Tillotson, Eric Falero, and Devin Kerr alongside Mike Watts saying thanks for watching. So long, Orange County, El Paso, open year number 10, 0-0. Good night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.